Somewhere right now, a farmer on 3 acres of land is quietly making more money than a surgeon. No factory, no investors, no office, just soil, strategy, and a list of plants that the rest of the world walks past every single day without a second glance. You were never told about these plants in school. They were not on the covers of farming magazines. Most of the people growing them do not talk loudly about what they earn, because silence is part of the strategy. When fewer people know, fewer people compete. And when fewer people compete, the price stays high. But today, that changes. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on 21 plants, 21 living, growing assets that have the power to transform ordinary farmland into a machine that generates serious, life-changing wealth. Not in theory, not someday. With the right plant, the right preparation, and the right buyer, it starts with the next season you plant. Some of these plants have been quietly making families rich for hundreds of years. Others are riding a wave of global demand so powerful that supply cannot keep up. A few of them grow on land most farmers would abandon, and at least 2 of them are so misunderstood that the farmers who discovered them are deliberately keeping quiet. If you have land, even a small plot, and you are willing to think like an investor instead of just a grower, what you are about to hear could completely redirect the future of your farm. Stay with me through all 21, because the plant that changes your life might not be the one you expect. Welcome to Hidden Harvest Vault, the channel that finds the crops the industry is not talking about. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We go deep on profitable plants every single week, and you will not want to miss what is coming next. And before we get into plant number 1, drop a comment below. Tell me, what country or region are you farming in? I read every single one. Let's see how global this community really is. Plant 1. Ginseng, the underground investor. Most people who walk past a ginseng plant do not realize they are walking past money. Not crop money, not produce money, investment money. The kind that compounds quietly underground while everything else around it gets planted, harvested, sold, and forgotten. Ginseng operates on a different timeline than almost any other plant on this list. It is not a crop you harvest in a season. It is a crop you build over years, and every single year it stays in the ground, it becomes more valuable. Wild simulated roots, aged 6 years or more, can command prices that would make most farmers stop and reread the number. Hundreds of dollars per pound, sometimes over 1,000. What drives that price is scarcity, and scarcity is protected by patience. The wellness industry, pharmaceutical manufacturers, traditional medicine distributors in Asia, and high-end supplement brands all depend on a consistent supply of mature ginseng root. But very few growers are willing to wait long enough to deliver it at the quality those buyers demand. That imbalance is where your opportunity lives. Here is what most farmers overlook. Ginseng thrives in shade. Forested land, wooded slopes, tree-covered plots that most conventional farmers consider useless. That is exactly where ginseng performs best. Suddenly, land you never knew how to use becomes one of your most productive assets. The farmers who win with ginseng are not the fastest. They are the most patient, the most consistent, and the most strategic. They understand that delayed gratification is not a weakness in farming. It is a weapon. Plant today. Wait. Let time do what money cannot. And when the harvest finally comes, it comes heavy. Plant 2. Moringa, the tree that never stops paying. If ginseng is the slow-burn investor, moringa is the workhorse that never clocks out. While other crops sit quietly, moringa is actively producing leaves, pods, seeds, oil, in a cycle that seems to have no natural end. Plant it once and for years to come, it keeps generating. The leaves are where most of the income begins. Dried into powder and sold to health brands, supplement companies, and nutrition-focused consumers, moringa powder has become a staple in the global wellness market. Unlike trendy superfoods that come and go, moringa has been consumed across Africa and Asia for centuries. The demand is not hype. It is culture and science converging on the same plant. What gives moringa its financial power is its flexibility. A farmer can sell fresh leaves locally, dried leaves to regional buyers, and processed powder to international distributors, all from the same trees. Seeds can be cold-pressed into oil that commands premium prices in the cosmetic and culinary markets. Pods are sold as vegetables in dozens of cuisines worldwide. Multiple income streams from a single planting decision. Moringa also works beautifully in small-scale operations. It responds aggressively to pruning, which means the farmer controls the growth cycle while increasing yield. It improves the soil it grows in rather than depleting it. And it produces so consistently that the real challenge is not growing enough. The real challenge is finding more buyers for what you already have. Plant 3. Gotu Kola, the hidden gem of herbal markets. Most farmers have never heard of Gotu Kola. That is not a warning. That is an invitation. Because in specialty herbal markets, in supplement aisles, herbal pharmacies, and export channels to Asia and Europe, Gotu Kola is not obscure at all. It is valued, sought after, and consistently purchased at prices that reward the farmers willing to grow it. Used for thousands of years across Sri Lanka, India, and Southeast Asia as a tonic for brain function, circulation, and skin healing, Gotu Kola has found a second audience among Western consumers increasingly interested in natural cognition and longevity support. That dual demand, traditional and modern, local and global, creates a market with remarkable depth. For the farmer, Gotu Kola is highly practical. It grows in well-watered, shaded or semi-shaded conditions and can be harvested repeatedly from the same planting. Fresh leaves, dried product, powder, and concentrated extracts all carry distinct price points, and each step up the processing chain multiplies the farmer's margins significantly. The smart Gotu Kola grower does not limit themselves to one channel. Local herbal shops, direct-to-consumer online sales, international supplement exporters, all of these are active buyers. Because so few Western farmers have committed to growing it properly, those who do enter a space with almost no domestic competition, that is exactly the kind of position a strategic farmer should want to be in. Plant 4. Saffron, the red thread of real wealth. There is a reason saffron has been traded as currency, gifted to royalty, and fought over across centuries. Weight for weight, it has been worth more than gold in various periods of history. And today, in an era of growing global demand for premium ingredients, that status has not changed. The price of saffron comes from one undeniable fact: it cannot be mechanized. Each delicate crocus flower produces only a handful of threads. Each thread must be removed by hand at precisely the right moment. It takes roughly 150,000 flowers to produce a single kilogram of dried saffron. That scale of human labor required to produce so little makes the price non-negotiable. But here is what most farmers never consider: that difficulty is not a barrier. It is a protective wall around your income. Every farmer scared away by the complexity of saffron is one fewer competitor in a market that never stops being hungry. Gourmet restaurants, luxury food brands, premium cosmetics manufacturers, and international spice exporters are all active buyers. And they are not shopping for the cheapest option. They are shopping for the best. Saffron also fits intelligently into a farm's calendar. It flowers in the cooler months when many other crops are dormant, meaning it generates income in a season that would otherwise sit quiet. Once dried and properly stored, saffron holds its value for years, giving the grower complete control over when and to whom they sell. That pricing power alone makes it worth understanding deeply. Plant 5. Stevia, the plant riding the sugar revolution. Right now, hundreds of millions of people are being told by their doctors, their governments, and their own bodies to cut back on sugar. They are not ignoring that message. They are searching for alternatives. And the alternative that keeps rising to the top, in food products, beverages, supplements, and diabetic markets, is stevia. What makes stevia commercially powerful is not just its sweetness, it is the concentration. A small quantity of processed stevia leaf replaces a large volume of sugar. That means transport costs drop, storage is simpler, and the farmer selling a properly processed product is not competing on bulk weight. They are competing on potency and purity. That changes the entire economics of the crop. The farmers who extract the most value from stevia understand one principle above all: processing multiplies income. Raw leaves at harvest price are one thing. Dried, powdered, and packaged leaves sold to beverage manufacturers are something else entirely. Each step of the value chain the farmer controls is a step away from commodity pricing and a step toward premium margins. Stevia plants, once established, can be harvested multiple times throughout a season. This is not a plant that rewards a single window of activity. It rewards the farmer who builds a system: consistent harvesting, consistent processing, consistent delivery to buyers who depend on their supply. Done well, stevia stops feeling like farming. It starts feeling like running a manufacturing input business. Plant 6 wasabi, the rarest crop in commercial agriculture. Real wasabi is one of the most misunderstood plants in the food world. The majority of consumers who have eaten so-called wasabi in a restaurant have never tasted the real thing. What they received was a blend of horseradish, mustard, and green dye, crafted to mimic something far more rare and far more expensive. That gap between imitation and authenticity is exactly where the opportunity lives. Chefs who care about what they put on their plates, and there are thousands of them in cities across the world, are actively searching for authentic wasabi and willing to pay prices that reflect its rarity. We are not talking about a few dollars more per pound. We are talking about a fundamentally different price category. Wasabi demands specific conditions: cool temperatures, clean moving water, high humidity, and careful management. Those requirements are what keep the competition thin. Most farmers hear the growing conditions and walk away. But the farmers who lean in and master those conditions enter a market where supply is structurally constrained. Fewer growers, consistent demand, and buyers who prioritize authenticity over price. That is one of the most powerful combinations in specialty agriculture. Wasabi also teaches the farmer a philosophy that applies to every crop on this list: mastery over volume. The farmer who grows one thing extraordinarily well consistently out-earns the farmer who grows many things adequately. In agriculture, excellence is its own form of leverage. Plant 7, vanilla. The crop that rewards the patient master. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world, after saffron. And like saffron, its price is protected by a process that refuses to be rushed. Every step of production, from the careful hand-pollination of flowers to the months-long curing of the beans, requires human attention, human skill, and human patience. No machine can do it properly. No shortcut survives. The vanilla orchid produces beautiful flowers that open for a single day. If they are not pollinated within that window, there is no second chance. That level of precision filters out casual growers before they even reach harvest. But for the farmer who learns the rhythm of the plant, who understands its timing and masters its requirements, the reward is extraordinary. Buyers of premium vanilla are not transactional, they are relational. Food manufacturers, perfume houses, cosmetic brands, and gourmet chocolate makers want a consistent source they can trust. Farmers who cure beans properly, who invest in quality at every stage, and who deliver on their promises, build buyer relationships that become more valuable than any single harvest. The repeat customer is where vanilla farming becomes truly wealthy. Demand for vanilla spans food, beverage, fragrance, and cosmetics. It does not depend on a single industry. That breadth of application means a vanilla grower is never at the mercy of one market's movements, a form of security that most specialty crop farmers dream about. Plant 8. Ginger, the commodity that thinks like a luxury product. The mistake most farmers make with ginger is treating it like a common produce crop, growing it, boxing it, and watching it sell at the same price everyone else accepts. The farmers who get wealthy with ginger do not make that mistake. They understand that ginger is not a single product. It is a platform. Fresh root, dried root, powdered spice, ginger extract, ginger oil, ginger tea, ginger capsules. Each of these is a different market with a different buyer and a different price point. The raw root sold at a local market is the lowest rung of the ladder. The organic ginger extract sold to a supplement manufacturer is 5 rungs higher. Same plant, completely different economics. Global demand for ginger grows every year, pulled by the food industry, the beverage market, pharmaceutical applications, and a wellness culture that has adopted ginger as a core functional ingredient. Farmers who produce consistently clean, high-quality roots have no shortage of buyers. The challenge is rarely demand. The challenge is quality control and strategic positioning in the value chain. Ginger grows in loose, well-drained soil with steady moisture and partial shade. It produces for multiple seasons, and cuttings from mature roots serve as the next season's planting material, meaning input costs decline as the operation matures. Over time, a ginger farm does not just produce a crop. It produces a compounding agricultural asset that gets more efficient with every harvest. Plant 9, turmeric, the golden root of modern commerce. Turmeric has crossed from kitchen spice to global health phenomenon. And the farmers who positioned themselves before that shift happened are now operating in a market where demand consistently outpaces supply. Anti-inflammatory supplements, functional beverages, skincare serums, pharmaceutical preparations. Turmeric is no longer one market. It is everywhere simultaneously. The critical factor in turmeric's profitability is curcumin content, the active compound that drives the health benefits buyers are chasing. Roots with high curcumin concentrations command prices that can be double or triple the commodity rate. That means the farmer's investment in soil quality, cultivation technique, and harvest timing directly translates into a premium at the point of sale. There is a direct line between farming excellence and income. Processing is where turmeric's value multiplies. Raw roots have one price. Properly dried and ground turmeric powder has another. Standardized turmeric extract, certified and packaged for pharmaceutical buyers, operates in an entirely different price universe. Farmers who are willing to invest in even basic processing equipment can capture a significantly larger share of the final product's value. Turmeric also lends itself beautifully to staggered planting strategies, allowing the farmer to maintain a near-continuous harvest cycle. Combined with its ability to be composted back into the soil from non-marketable plant material, it becomes a closed-loop system. The deeper a farmer goes into turmeric, the more efficient and more profitable the entire operation becomes. Plant 10. Garlic. The everyday crop with luxury potential garlic suffers from familiarity. Because it is everywhere, in every kitchen, in every grocery store, in every culture's cooking, farmers often assume the market is too crowded, the price is too low, the opportunity too small. That assumption is wrong, and the farmers who understand why are quietly building serious income from this misunderstood crop. The garlic market is stratified. At the bottom is commodity bulk garlic, imported at low prices and sold by weight. At the top is specialty garlic, organic, hardneck, heirloom varieties with specific flavor profiles that restaurants, artisan food producers, and health-conscious consumers pay a significant premium to access. The farmer who positions in the upper tier is not competing with commodity imports. They are in an entirely different market. Garlic stores exceptionally well. That storage capacity gives the farmer something rare in agriculture: timing leverage. Rather than selling at harvest when supply is highest and prices are typically lowest, the strategic garlic grower stores the crop and sells through winter and spring, when supply tightens and prices rise. That one adjustment in timing can change the annual income picture dramatically. Processed garlic, peeled cloves, garlic powder, black garlic, garlic oil, and health supplements multiplies the value further. A farmer who grows excellent garlic and understands even basic value addition is not running a produce operation. They are running a specialty food business that happens to start in the ground. Plant 11, lavender, the farm that sells a feeling. Lavender may be the only crop on this list that can be sold as a product, an experience, and a destination all at once. Most farmers think about plants in terms of weight and price per pound. Lavender farmers think about their land differently. They think about what it can make people feel, and then they sell that feeling at every level. The product market for lavender is enormous. Essential oil, the highest value output, commands premium prices from aromatherapy companies, cosmetic manufacturers, soap makers, and personal care brands. Dried flower bundles sell to florists, boutique retailers, and direct consumers. Culinary lavender serves specialty food producers and high-end restaurants. And culinary teas sell to a health-conscious audience that keeps growing. But the secondary income streams are where lavender farms often surpass their primary production income. Farm tourism, open fields in bloom season, you-pick experiences, photography sessions, generates revenue without requiring a single pound of product to be harvested or processed. Workshops on distillation, wreath-making, and herbal products build community and income simultaneously. The lavender farm becomes a brand, and the brand earns in ways that purely transactional farming never can. Lavender is long-lived, perennial, and drought-tolerant once established, making it a low-maintenance, high-return crop over a horizon of 10 to 15 years. A single acre, managed well and marketed strategically, can generate income that most farmers achieve only from operations 5 times that size. Plant 12. Aloe vera, the succulent that scales. Aloe vera looks humble, a thick-leafed succulent, slow to impress at a glance, demanding little and complaining about almost nothing. But walk into any pharmacy, cosmetic aisle, health store, or supplement section and count how many products contain aloe vera. The number is staggering. And behind every one of those products is a supply chain that begins in a field somewhere. The raw leaf market is the entry point. But the processed gel market, stabilized, bottled, sold to skincare brands and food manufacturers, is where margins become serious. Dehydrated aloe powder, used by pharmaceutical companies and nutraceutical manufacturers, is where the economics become exceptional. Each level of processing the farmer controls is a step toward keeping more of the final product's value. Aloe vera thrives in conditions that challenge other crops: semi-arid climates, poor soils, limited water. That resilience makes it accessible to farmers in regions where conventional agriculture is difficult. It requires minimal maintenance, resists most pests naturally, and once established, produces for years from the same planting. The low cost of production, combined with high demand from multiple industries, creates a margin structure that is difficult to replicate with more demanding crops. For the serious farmer, aloe vera is not just a product, it is infrastructure. A consistent, reliable, scalable base that feeds into industries, skincare, health food, pharmaceuticals, that are not going anywhere. Plant 13, ashwagandha, ancient medicine, modern fortune. Ashwagandha has been prescribed in Ayurvedic medicine for over 3,000 years. For most of that time, it was grown quietly on small plots in India, used locally, and largely invisible to the global market. That invisibility ended the moment Western science caught up with what traditional healers already knew. Clinical studies confirming ashwagandha's effects on cortisol, stress response, muscle recovery, and cognitive function sent the supplement industry into a sustained buying frenzy. Demand exploded. Supply struggled to keep pace, and farmers who were already growing it or positioned themselves quickly found buyers willing to pay prices that had never existed before for this crop. The roots are the primary product, harvested after approximately 5 to 6 months and dried for the global supplement market. But the withanolide content, the active compounds that make ashwagandha medicinally significant, varies based on growing conditions, soil quality, and variety selection. Farmers who invest in producing high withanolide roots for pharmaceutical-grade buyers access a tier of pricing that the commodity market cannot touch. Ashwagandha grows in sandy loam soils in warm, semi-arid conditions and requires relatively low inputs to produce. That combination of low cost of production and high market value creates one of the most favorable return on investment ratios of any medicinal crop currently grown at scale. Farmers who are sitting on dry, marginal land and assuming it is worthless should look very carefully at this plant. Plant 14, goji berry, the superfood that became a cash crop. Goji berries were considered an exotic curiosity in Western markets not long ago. A novelty product at health food stores, stocked on a single shelf, purchased by the most health-conscious customers and essentially no one else. That era is over. Goji berries are now a mainstream superfood ingredient, appearing in granola, energy bars, teas, supplements, juices, and skincare, with a global market that shows no sign of contracting. The financial case is compelling. Organic dried goji berries consistently sell at $20 per pound or higher at retail and farmers market channels. Fresh berries command even greater premiums. A single acre under proper cultivation can produce several thousand pounds of fresh berries at full production. That math translates into income figures that rival crops requiring far more land and far more inputs. Goji berry shrubs are surprisingly adaptable, tolerating cold winters, dry conditions, and a wide range of soil types that would challenge more demanding crops. They reach full production within 3 to 5 years, and then produce reliably for decades. That longevity means the initial investment in establishing a goji planting continues to pay dividends long after the setup costs have been recovered. The buyer landscape is also unusually diverse. Direct sales at farmers markets, wholesale to natural food retailers, export to Asian markets where goji has cultural significance, and supply agreements with supplement manufacturers all represent viable channels. Farmers who develop multiple outlets for their harvest insulate themselves from the vulnerability of depending on any single buyer. Plant 15. Specialty mushrooms, the crop that grows in the dark. In a list of plants that most people overlook, specialty mushrooms stand apart, because they are not plants at all, and yet they are among the most profitable crops a small-scale grower can produce. Oyster mushrooms, shiitake, lion's mane, maitake, each commands prices at wholesale and retail that dwarf the returns from almost any conventional vegetable crop. The economics are extraordinary. Indoor mushroom production on as little as 500 square feet can generate gross revenue that exceeds what many farmers earn from acres of field crops. The key variables, substrate preparation, temperature, humidity, and CO2 management, are controllable. Once a farmer masters the environment, mushroom production becomes a remarkably consistent income stream that operates year-round regardless of weather, season, or geography. The market has matured alongside the product. Specialty mushrooms are no longer sold only at gourmet restaurants. They appear in mainstream grocery stores, health food chains, farmers markets, meal kit services, and supplement supply chains. Dried mushroom powder has become a staple in the functional food and cognitive health supplement markets, adding yet another sales channel for the farmer willing to invest in basic drying and packaging equipment. For farmers with limited land but available structure, unused buildings, converted shipping containers, purpose-built growing rooms, specialty mushrooms represent one of the most compelling income per square foot opportunities in modern agriculture. The barrier to entry is low, the ceiling is high, and the demand keeps climbing. Plant 16. Bamboo, the fastest growing asset on your land. Bamboo is technically a grass, but in the agriculture of wealth creation, it behaves like something closer to a timber asset, one that grows faster than almost anything else on the planet, and pays out in a remarkable variety of markets simultaneously. Some bamboo species gain several feet of height per day during their peak growth phase. That rate of biomass production has no parallel in conventional agriculture. Once established, typically within 3 to 5 years, a bamboo planting becomes a self-sustaining, annually harvestable resource that does not require replanting. The farmer harvests selectively, allowing the grove to regenerate and expand continuously. The market for bamboo spans more industries than most farmers realize. Construction materials, flooring and decking, furniture production, textile fiber, landscape architecture, erosion control applications, carbon credit markets. Potted plant nursery sales, where a single container-grown specimen can retail for hundreds of dollars. Each of these is a buyer with different requirements, different volumes, and different price structures. Bamboo also grows productively on land that other crops struggle with: slopes, degraded soils, areas with erosion problems. In those contexts, it is not just generating income, it is restoring the land. For the farmer willing to invest the initial establishment years and understand which species aligns with their local market demand, bamboo is not just a crop, it is a decades-long income infrastructure. Plant 17, elderberry, the immune age's quiet champion. If there is one moment that permanently changed the elderberry market, it was the global surge in demand for immune-supporting products that followed the health crises of recent years. Consumers who had never heard of elderberry began reaching for elderberry syrup, elderberry supplements, and elderberry tea as naturally as they reached for vitamin C. That shift was not a trend. It was a behavioral change, and it permanently expanded the market. Wholesale elderberry prices in the established market range from $1 to $3 per pound, with organic certified berries commanding significant premiums. Established elderberry plantings at full production yield 5,000 to 8,000 pounds per acre annually. The math, even at conservative prices, creates a revenue picture that most conventional crops cannot match at equivalent acreage. Elderberry reaches full production 2 to 3 years after planting, and then produces reliably for decades. The upfront investment in establishment is modest. The ongoing maintenance requirements are relatively low, and the processing opportunity is substantial. Elderberry syrup, elderberry extract, dried berries, and elderberry powder all carry retail prices dramatically higher than the raw berry, giving the farmer who processes even partially a significant margin advantage. For farmers in temperate climates, elderberry grows with minimal fuss across a wide range of soil types. It tolerates wet areas that challenge other fruit crops. It can be integrated into existing hedgerows and windbreaks, making it a dual-purpose planting. And with the immune health supplement market projected to continue expanding through the decade, the window for establishing a position in elderberry supply is very much open. Plant 18, matcha and green tea. The ceremony that commands a premium. The global tea market is enormous. But within that market, there is a premium tier that operates by entirely different rules, and matcha is at the center of it. Ceremonial-grade matcha, sourced from shade-grown, hand-harvested, stone-milled leaves, sells at prices that place it among the most valuable agricultural products by weight in the world. What separates matcha from ordinary green tea is controlled production. Shade covering applied for weeks before harvest increases the L-theanine content of the leaves, creating the distinctive sweetness, umami depth, and calm focus effect that matcha consumers pay a premium for. That controlled process is what creates the price differential. Commodity green tea is abundant. Properly shade-grown, ceremonial-quality matcha is not. Western markets have adopted matcha at a pace that far exceeds what traditional production regions can supply. Matcha lattes are now standard menu items at coffee chains. Matcha appears in baked goods, chocolates, supplements, and skincare. The consumer base is not narrowing. It is broadening. Pulling in younger consumers who had never engaged with tea culture before, matcha gave it a modern identity. Farmers in appropriate climates who are willing to invest in the precision of shade cultivation and learn proper post-harvest processing are entering a market where domestically produced, verified quality matcha commands prices that imported product cannot always achieve with discerning buyers. The opportunity for premium positioning in this category is significant and still growing. Plant 19, calendula, the golden flower that pays in every season. Calendula does not get the dramatic press that saffron or vanilla receives. It does not carry the ancient mystique of ginseng or the ancient provenance of gotu kola. But in the world of practical, profitable specialty farming, calendula is one of the most consistently rewarding crops a grower can add to their portfolio, and it almost always comes as a surprise. The petals are the primary product, harvested repeatedly throughout a long blooming season. Dried calendula petals are purchased by herbal tea manufacturers, natural cosmetic producers, skincare formulators, and botanical extract companies. The anti-inflammatory and skin-soothing properties documented in calendula have made it a staple ingredient in clean beauty formulations, one of the fastest-growing segments in the personal care market. What makes calendula particularly valuable to the small-scale farmer is its frequency of harvest. Unlike crops that offer one annual window, calendula blooms continuously and rewards frequent picking. The more the farmer harvests, the more the plant produces. That relationship between harvest frequency and yield makes it one of the most labor-efficient specialty crops available, high value per hour of work invested. Calendula is cold-hardy, pest-resistant, easy to grow across a wide range of climates, and produces seeds abundantly, meaning the farmer can expand production year over year at almost no additional seed cost. For a farmer looking for a reliable, year-round cash flow crop that requires minimal infrastructure and feeds directly into one of the most dynamic consumer markets of the current decade, calendula belongs on the shortlist. Plant 20, black seed, Nigella sativa, the blessed seed the world is rediscovering. For 14 centuries, black seed has been described in Islamic tradition as a cure for everything except death. Modern pharmacological research has not gone quite that far, but what it has confirmed is extensive enough to send global demand surging. Anti-inflammatory activity, immunomodulatory effects, antimicrobial properties, antioxidant capacity. The science is producing evidence that validates what traditional practitioners have claimed for generations. The commercial result is a market that is expanding rapidly across supplement channels, functional food applications, cold-pressed oil sales, and traditional herbal medicine supply chains. Black seed oil, cold-pressed from Nigella sativa seeds, is now a premium product sold through natural health retailers, online platforms, and direct-to-consumer channels at prices that make the economics of growing the crop compelling. The plant itself is an annual that grows well in warm, dry climates with well-drained soil. It requires relatively low inputs, matures in approximately 4 to 5 months, and produces seeds that can be sold whole, pressed into oil, or powdered for herbal supplement use. Each processing step adds margin. Cold-pressed certified organic black seed oil represents one of the highest value outputs a small acreage farmer can produce from a relatively simple crop. The cultural significance of black seed across the Middle East, North Africa, South Asia, and Muslim communities worldwide creates a globally distributed base of consistent, loyal buyers. For the farmer, this means market access is not confined to a single region or a single trend. It is built on something far more durable: faith, tradition, and now, science. Plant 21, vetiver, the root that holds the earth and earns the gold. Vetiver is the crop that almost no one outside of the fragrance industry has heard of. And inside that industry, it is not just known, it is irreplaceable. The essential oil distilled from vetiver roots is one of the most complex, most valued, and most sought-after aromatic materials in the world of luxury perfumery. Major fragrance houses, the names on the most expensive bottles at the most exclusive counters, cannot make their signature products without it. The root system of the vetiver grass grows dense, deep, and fragrant. After approximately 18 to 24 months, the roots are harvested, washed, dried, and distilled into an oil with a smoky, earthy, deeply woody character that perfumers describe as impossible to synthesize convincingly. Synthetic substitutes exist, but are considered inferior by those who work with the finest raw materials. The demand for authentic vetiver oil is structural, not trend-dependent. Beyond perfumery, vetiver oil has applications in aromatherapy, luxury cosmetics, and premium skincare. The growing roots themselves are used in soil erosion control and land rehabilitation projects, creating a secondary market for live plant material that many vetiver growers have not yet explored. The grass grows in a wide range of tropical and subtropical climates and, once established, is exceptionally drought-tolerant. For the farmer willing to invest the establishment time and learn the art of proper root harvest and distillation, vetiver represents an extraordinary opportunity. You are not selling a commodity. You are supplying a raw material that the world's most prestigious brands depend on. That positioning, supplier to the luxury market, is where the greatest pricing power in all of specialty agriculture resides. Right now, I want to stop and ask you a direct question, and I want you to answer in the comments below. Of the 21 plants we have covered today, which one fits your land, your climate, and your goals best? Is it the patience play of ginseng, the immediate productivity of moringa, the luxury position of vetiver or wasabi? Tell me your number, and tell me why. The most thoughtful answers get a direct reply from me. Let's build this together. The farm you build starts with one decision: 21 plants, 21 doors. Every single one of them leads somewhere that common farming will not take you. What separates the farmers who use this list to change their lives from the ones who watch it and move on is not land size, or capital, or geography. It is the willingness to pick one plant, go deep, learn the market, master the growing, and position the product correctly. That is the complete formula. Not complicated, just committed. The wealthiest specialty farmers in the world did not start with 21 crops. They started with one that they understood better than anyone in their region. Then they expanded. Then they built systems. Then they scaled. The beginning is always a single decision, planted in the right soil at the right time. You now have the map. What you do with it is entirely yours. If this video gave you something, a new idea, a new direction, a crop you had never considered, then do 3 things right now. First, hit the like button. It takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm that this kind of deep, honest farming content matters. Second, subscribe to Hidden Harvest Vault if you have not already. Every week we go deeper on the crops and strategies that the mainstream farming media is not covering. And third, share this video. Send it to a farmer, a landowner, a friend who has been asking what they should be growing. You never know which plant on this list becomes the one that changes someone's direction entirely. Thank you for watching. Get back to your land, and we will see you in the next one.